ladies and gentlemen, to another outstanding edition of Jofo in the Ring. I am the harbinger of truth, Jeremy Prophet.
And I'm Kyle.
And I'm here to say today that the reason I am dressed oh so good is because of Squared Circle Apparel. I tell you, you want to look as good as me? Get your ass to the gym. But if you want to dress as good as me, check these guys out on Instagram, Squared Circle Apparel. Use the promo code Jofo, and you get something special. Did you say something?
Apparently not.
Well, we had a big show today just the same. We got a great guest. We got someone that we spoke very highly about here on the show, and now we get the opportunity to interview them. I know you're excited. I'm pretty excited too. And I think, without any further ado, we can get to our guest.
So, Jazz, welcome to Jofo in the Ring. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Big fan here on this side of the table from both of us. Yeah. And I was going to say an even bigger fan here on my end. I think when we did that episode where we were talking about ECW Barely Legal 99, if I'm not mistaken, I believe I was the one that put her over like Rover. Not to say that you didn't. I mean, you talked about how she was dangerous and she was vicious in there. And then the man was pretty much speaking the truth, which I can tell you when he's around me, I keep him honest.
It was guilty as charged. Yeah. I just thought that guilty as charged.
Oh, it was guilty as charged 99. Yeah. But all that to say, it's a thrill and an honor for us to have you here. Being a wrestler myself, a person of color, all those things that you represent, that you broke those boundaries for women in the sport of professional wrestling. You were the women's evolution before there was a woman's evolution.
Oh man, thank you.
it is very much an honor for both of us to be in the presence of someone like yourself, a pioneer, a trailblazer, and I think that if it wasn't for you, a lot of the women and the way women are perceived in wrestling wouldn't be the way that it is. And I think that for me, when I first saw you in ECW, I was just like, wow, she can go toe-to-toe with pretty much any guy in the company here. And I feel like you were one of the first women in wrestling that was portrayed that way. Did it feel the same to you?
At the time, so green to the business, you know what I mean? That was like my first year in the business. I had no clue, I was just out there just trying to do my job, put out, what they expect me to put out, basically just pretty much just do whatever I had to do to get myself over. And it worked. Paulie and Dreamer had faith in me. They knew I was green as hell, and they still put me out there in situations, it was either I was going to fucking get over or fans was gonna eat me up alive, and thankfully I was able to stay afloat and get myself over.
And now in doing my research, I came across that you were actually an athlete before getting into professional wrestling. You played some basketball. Is that the extent of your athletic background, or were you involved in some other sports too?
Basketball, track, softball, just anything that we had. I'm from the country, so we didn't have much, coming up. So it was outside making shit happen. I believe I ended up finally getting an Atari 2600, but still that didn't keep me in the house, only on snow days maybe. But yeah, we had to just make shit happen. We make shit up, eating mud pies and just all kind of stuff like that. So yeah.
It's what I like. It's what I like to say too, because I did a lot of sports, but I always said that I was like a wrestler playing hockey or playing baseball or running track. I did track and field also, but I was always a wrestler. That was always my thing that I loved watching. It brought me and my friends, my same friends that I do this show with here together, because we loved watching wrestling. When did you first discover the sport of professional wrestling and fall in love with it?
Grew up watching wrestling all my life. Again, I'm from Memphis, so Memphis/Mississippi. So just wrestling has always been on my TV from the time I can remember, so just growing up watching it. But it was something, it was nothing that I never said that I wanted to become when I was smaller. Wrestling was not on my list. It wasn't on my bucket list at all. Just kind of fell into it, and and opportunities came so quickly, and I had to just elevate and and make it happen. Thank God I was able to.
Did you have any favorites when you were growing up watching wrestling?
Oh yeah, Jerry Lawler was, Memphis, greatest of all times. Coco Beware, Junkyard Dog. I mean, Kamala. Yeah. So, and if you were ever anyone in the sport of professional wrestling, you came through Memphis. So I've seen them all. Even the WWF guys, just everybody came through there.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, getting started in ECW, that was a long way from Memphis. That was more, in the Northeast. What connect the dots for us? How did it go from where you started to getting that big break in ECW?
Okay. Long story short, decided to get into the business. Took a few bumps, banged up my head a little bit. Like, nope, this ain't what I want to do. Maybe I should be a valet. So I tried that out a couple of shows. And ran into somebody that told me that Junkyard Dog was having a school in Lafayette, Louisiana. And if I wanted to train, that's what I should do. So lo and behold, I packed my bags up and told my dad, hey, I'm off to Louisiana, go wrestle, go train. So did that, trained with Dog for a few months. He had to leave and go take care of business or whatever. Then Rugged Rob Price came into play. And he told me if I wanted to make money in this business, I had to learn how to wrestle. And I had to wrestle. That was the only way. So during that time, he was working with ECW. He was one of the Baldies, and told me and Rodney, like, hey, we're going to be in Louisiana such a day on one weekend, and you guys should follow along and do a tryout. So on the last day of the Louisiana Loop, I finally got the nerve up to get in the ring, and they threw me in there with Jason Knight. Mm-hmm. And the entire roster gathered around the ring, and hitting the apron and all that and hyping us up and shit. And a couple of weeks later, I got a call and said, hey, they needed someone to take Chastity's spot in the entourage. And it was me.
Wow. Now, how early into your career was that? How many years did you have under your belt in the business?
I had no years. I maybe had like 8 months of training and maybe 5 matches.
Wow. Damn.
Yeah.
But now when I think of you, I mean, obviously in the ring, you were explosive in there and you always delivered. But I also, I admired that you were just so jacked. I mean, you had an incredible, and you still do have an incredible physique. As you can see, one body guy to one body woman.
Thank you. But you can stop that right now. No, I'm so out of shape.
Well, I'm just saying, sight on scene. If I never see you wrestle for a minute, the second you walk through that curtain, the impression that you make, and that was, me seeing you on TV for the first time, I was like, wow, this woman's ready to kick some ass. Now, I got to wonder, did you always have the body, or was that something you started working on once you got into the business?
I always had an athletic body. That's just my natural build. I grow extremely fast. But no, Rodney, my husband, he was the one that really got me in the gym into working out. I think I weighed 122. We was talking about this last night, and this story came up. He said I weighed 122 when I first got in the gym with him, and his goal was to get me to 130. And I didn't get to 130 till I was damn near in the WWE. So I was like 125, 128 the entire time in ECW.
Yeah, but definitely
natural.
Yeah, and I mean, you must have been maybe 10% body fat, if even that. That's 5 pounds of quality muscle that you put on top. But
I think good genes, baby, good genes.
Well, that's why I want to be you when I grow up. But with that said, I mean, I think that went a long way to giving you credibility when you step in the ring against an opponent, male or female. So when you were in ECW, I know that you obviously you were a great babyface. Was that what you wanted to play from the get-go? You wanted to be a babyface, or were you more towards the heel side of things?
Really didn't know. Really didn't care. My job in ECW was whatever predicament, whatever situation they put me in, it was my job just to go out there and do it. Again, I keep telling you, I was green as hell. All that worrying about trying to be a face, be a heel, I didn't know. All I knew is I had a job and I had to show up every weekend and do whatever the hell they asked me to do. But yeah, truthfully, I didn't it really didn't comprehend on me if I was a face or heel. It didn't matter to me, you know. It was all about just being out there, just trying to be a part of it. Yep. But once I got to WWE, they told me I was going to be a heel, so I had to start watching film. I watched, you know, the Four Horsemen and Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, Stan Hansen, and you know, guys like that. Buzz Sawyer. You know, I watched and studied their film, and that's how I just, you know. But also going back to ECW now, it was like I had to. I mean, I was in the ring with the men. And Paul Lee, you know how he get in your damn head and telling me to go out there and beat the living shit out of them, and you know, and vice versa, and telling the guys don't take liberties, don't go soft on me, you know, don't treat me like a woman, you know. So it was, yeah, it was. Just say I earned the respect from the guys, because whatever they gave to me, I didn't bitch gripe about it whatsoever, and none of them, far as I know, ever complained about putting me over, because without ECW there wouldn't be a Jazz. I mean, and all the talent that I worked over there, from the Carinos to Simon Diamond, Rhino, I mean, oh God, everybody, you know, they put me over, the Danny Dorings and shit. So, man, I love those guys, and forever would be grateful and humbly appreciate them.
And I think a lot of that is, you know, there's good booking, but a lot of that's on you too, because like I said, you know, if you didn't look so physically imposing and deliver from bell to bell, you know, it wouldn't have, you know, gone down the same kind of way. But not for a second did you look like you didn't belong in there. And I think that's much akin to what I said in that interview where we were talking about, was it Bruno, was it Barely Legal? 99?
Guilty as charged.
Guilty as charged. Like, I don't know why I got Barely Legal in my head. But, yeah, no, definitely. They did a great job of presenting you in a way that did you justice, and you did your part as well. I wanted to ask you about the name Jazz. I think initially you were Jasmine.
Yes.
Now, did you choose that name? Was that a name they gave you?
That was just something I came up with, you know, and I tried to spell it differently. I spelled it JAZZMYN, just trying to be different. And you would imagine how many times I practiced my little signature with that, you know, my little autograph, you know, and everybody just started calling me Jazz, and it kind of just stuck, and there it is. Here I am.
Now, when you came into the WWE, I remember when you first showed up, I saw you and I was like, oh my God, who is this jacked woman with this, like, just not over, I don't want to say overbearing, but just this intimidating presence, you know, like you see you and you're just like, I would not want to fuck with that woman. And then she's just going to tear up this Divas division that they had at the time. And you basically did. You ran through everybody.
In a lot of ways, I kind of feel like she was filling Chyna's boots, because Chyna was on the way out, and Chyna was the big dominant, you know, champion.
Yeah. Chyna couldn't work the way I work.
No, that's the thing. You could actually and you actually got to defend the women's title at Wrestlemania. And I wanted to ask you, what was your thought when you found out that you not only were you gonna be at Wrestlemania, you were gonna retain the title over the hometown hero Trish Stratus?
Yeah, man, ecstatic, speechless. Just felt a lot of pressure, but yet still, again, so excited and couldn't wait to go out there and show the world that I'm here. I'm here where I belong, and God damn it, I'm doing the best to show you that I am the best.
Not only that, but you had the most badass theme song, like with that saxophone.
Saxophone. You know what? That had to grow on me.
Did it really?
I fucking hated it. And Rodney always told me, "Baby, your song, like, you got a badass song."
Yeah.
Like, it took me a little while to get to feel it. You know what I'm saying? I had to just change my whole persona a little bit, because, you know, in ECW I was coming out just, you know, with some rap and, you know, money, power, respect, you know, getting the crowd hype, and then they slowed me down with the saxophone, with the jazz. But it grew on me. So right now, still today, if I'm doing indie promotions and if they don't have some music for me, I just tell them to hit that.
Yeah, that was a badass song.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was in one of the video games too, and I think Raw or Raw 2.
Oh,
one of the first ones on Xbox.
Ones. Yes.
I know, because believe it or not, when I would create a wrestler of myself, I actually used that song. That's how big of a fan I was of that.
That's a great song.
You were running a little late.
I had to go to the post office.
What do you need to get at the post
I'll
office
show you.
and jeopardize putting our interview in danger by not being ready?
It's a huge surprise. I got WWF Royal Rumble for Sega Genesis on eBay.
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 You must have paid a pretty penny for that.
Only cost me $500.
Where'd a guy like you get $500?
I sold my teeth. But yeah, WWF Royal Rumble, Sega Genesis. And we can play it. Well, we can't play it here because we've got no wires, but I know a place where we can play it.
I'm just hoping that there's not going to be some loan sharks coming after you to break your legs for you getting that $500.
Maybe. Who knows? But they can't follow me here to 1231 St. Catherine to Esports Central. And let me tell you, they have everything. They got arcades. They have Super Nintendos, Nintendos, the Atari 2600, as our esteemed guest mentioned. And they have everything you need, and plus great prices on booze.
Wow.
What more do you need?
Well, I'm not much of a drinker, but I do like to play. So I definitely would like to take you up on that offer. And I'm pretty sure if we play Royal Rumble, I would beat you.
I beg to differ.
Well, you know what? I bet when we read the comment section in the episode, more people will side with me.
Well, when you were a kid and you were obviously at the gym playing sports, I was at home playing video games. So you're stepping into my world.
Well, I'll give you the experience advantage because, you are older than me. But when it comes down to it, skill doesn't mean that someone like yourself can beat someone like me just because I look a certain way and you look more like the kind of person who would be caught playing video games.
Well, I guess we're going to have to leave it up to the Jofo Mafia.
Yeah. And you do not judge a book by its cover. Unless that book is the 100% Guide to Weight Loss and Fitness by Ralph Sutton. And if you don't know, Google it. So now I hear a lot of wrestlers talk about the transition that, a lot of guys when they went from like WCW to the WWE, you got to learn a whole new skill set. You got to learn how to work the cameras and, you're pleasing a lot of people and there's agents and scripts and these kinds of things. What was the transition like for you and what was maybe the most shocking aspect?
Honestly, really none. Just trying to just be a fucking aggressive heel, and Fit Finley worked with me on that. So it kind of came natural. Thank God they never really tried to change me. They didn't say, well, we don't want that Jazz in ECW. We want Jazz to be this way. They never said anything. So I was just able to come and free flow and find myself. And really, it took me a while to really get comfortable and find myself because it was a whole different style. You go from wrestling men in ECW doing all kind of crazy shit to wrestling Trish every night. So that probably was the biggest transition for me.
And now I want to talk about Trish because I kind of feel like when I think of your whole WWE run, you guys were always in each other's orbit. You were like a yin and yang. And so, you wrestled Trish over the course of a number of years. Was there a difference in Trish when you first faced her to when you... Yeah.
She grew. She grew into becoming a great talent. Yeah, it was a little different when I first got there. She was, I'm not gonna put a business out there, but she was still a little green, But we made it happen, and thankfully the fans loved her, which made my job even more easy. I didn't really have to do shit, but just look the part, and. Yeah, maybe I did stump a mud hole in the ass a few times.
But she was better because of that.
Yes.
And I know that you seem like a very modest person, and I tend to be a little bit editorial when I do this, but that's just because I speak the unfiltered truth. And I really feel that she benefited a lot from working with you to become the Hall of Fame performer that people remember her as. But when I remember, 2001 to 2004, you were this evil monster of a person, and she was the innocent, blonde Barbie that was, being put in danger, but able to overcome. So I think that definitely you helped to build a solid foundation for Trish to help catapult her to even greater heights.
Yeah. And you know what? She never complained one bit. Well, not that I know of. I never had any agent come back to tell me that I need to lighten up. Trish says I'm fucking stiff. Like not once someone came to me and tell me that. But I guess Trish understood that's what was getting her over. So we made magic together. You know, we
Yep.
really did.
2 WrestleManias,
Yeah.
albeit triple threats, but still 2 WrestleManias nonetheless,
Yes.
and 2 women's championships for you as well.
Yes, sir.
Now, I know that you sustained an injury at one point. I think there was a knee injury, ACL.
Yeah, I had an ACL. Yes.
Yeah. Do you feel that kind of slowed down your momentum? Because I really feel you
Yeah,
were.
because I was a champ at the time.
Yeah.
Like every time I got injured, I had the freaking belt. Yeah, and I wrestled with it torn for probably over a month.
Oh, wow.
Try not to let anybody know. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I knew what was gonna happen, and I wasn't trying to hear that shit. You know, like I'm on the top of the world right now. We're during that time, but yeah, it kind of messed me up a little bit. But again, I came back better prepared. I came back mentally stronger, faster. I mean, wiser, just really understanding my role. If you can watch my matches before the surgery, and then you go and watch matches after the surgery, oh man, I came back like ooh, double time on their ass. I was really aggressive when I came back. So sometimes, you know, an injury, it sucks, but long as you're taking that time to improve and make yourself better, sometimes that little rest is all worth it.
And it was good too because when you came back, I remember saying to myself when you came on the TV, I was just like, "Oh fuck," because I was a Trish fan, right? I'm like, "Oh, this poor bitch is in for it now." Jesus Christ! I remember being at the at one of the.
Bitch
it was
is back.
I wasn't gonna say because you still scare me. So I remember I was at the Raw after WrestleMania 18. I remember you and I think it was Victoria did a run in, or no, it was you and Ivory did a run in and jumped Trish. And I was with some friends, and they started to boo really loud. And I told them to shut the fuck up because I didn't want them to hear. I didn't want you to hear them. You think it was me, and then I got to get my ass beat by fucking Jazz at Raw.
Yes, I love being a heel, man. It comes so easy, so easy. And that's the thing, you know. A lot of girls, guys too, really, but the women now, they really don't understand the importance of heat, real freaking heat. You know, everybody want to get a pop. You know, everybody want to go out there and shake their ass. You know, like, no, if you a heel, you got to be a heel, man. Like, get some freaking heat. Show me, make the people hate you. But a lot of people can't take that boo. Everybody want to pop.
Is there anybody? Oh, sorry. Is there anybody right now that you got your eye on in the women's division, in any division? Well, any women's division in any organization, I should say.
Hell no.
No.
My eyes is on continuing to do and get more opportunities to work behind the scenes. Yeah, I'm not belt chasing anymore. No, I don't. I'm done with that. Right now, I'm just trying to fulfill my tour and trying to say goodbye to everyone. You know, but yeah, as far as in ring. Yeah, I'm about done with that, man. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
All the women in wrestling can breathe a little easier now. But.
So in talking about that, because I know that you would, and obviously you were champion many times over WWE. You were one of the longest, I think, third longest NWA women's champion, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe even the longest of
I have
this
no
era.
idea. Yeah.
Well, you held the belt for a real long time. I know
948 days.
Okay, well, you did better homework than I did for this one.
Yeah.
I just knew it because every time I would look in Pro Wrestling Illustrated, it would be like Jazz is NWA Women's Champion. So.
Well, what belt does she have now? Let's see.
But
Yeah.
in talking about that, I know that you had announced your retirement at one point, and from what I could see, I guess Jordan Grace kind of talked you out of that. Is that how that came about?
Yes. Little Jordan, little Tommy Dreamer. Yeah.
And then that led to the run that you had in Impact.
Yes. And I wasn't expecting that run to go that long at all, but again, grateful for the opportunity. I had a blast in Impact, and tagging with Jordan was off the chain, like for real. She's a fucking badass. Like, I'm just glad I was a partner. That's how I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna leave it at that.
And I liked how there was that retirement, but then you also came back as a manager. And I thought that was a nice
Well,
little,
yeah,
little swerve.
I the one who brought in Rachel Ellering, to replace me, and where Jordan can finally have another opportunity to go after the knockout tag team titles. And so, I did that, and I made sure no one was going to interfere and fuck that up.
And so, obviously, when you were wrestling in WWE back in the day, the women's division wasn't as advanced and as evolved as it is now.
No.
Now, a lot more eyes are on women's wrestling, whether it be in the WWE, Impact, any of the major companies, even on the independents with companies like Shimmer, Shine. There's a lot of eyes on women's wrestling. They do much better views than guys like me do on YouTube and on internet and whatnot.
Exactly.
So it is just absolutely booming right now.
Yes.
Do you think maybe it's time for one of the major companies to actually launch an all-women's brand, like for WWE to do that or AEW?
I mean, it would not hurt. Yes, I believe that would be great, and it'll give the women more of a chance to actually be seen. Because right now, there's so many women on the shelves in WWE and NXT to where I don't even know who's all there. There's so many, So yeah, that would be actually great. I work with Thunder Rosa. She has her all-female promotion, Mission Pro. I work with her on that, and she's doing something that's never been done before. She has women from top to bottom. There's not a man involved in whatsoever, as far as the office goes, with booking, the promoting, all of it. It's all women, ran by all women. So yeah, it's most definitely that we can. It's our time to shine. Like you said, we're pulling in higher ratings than some of the guys. Yeah. So don't be hating, man. Appreciate. Let us do our thing.
Yeah, there's mostly more women on the WWE marquees now than there are other men sometimes.
Yeah.
It's
great. Yeah.
And there's a reason.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like you got your Charlotte, when you got your Charlotte Flairs out there, they're just tearing it up. It's great.
Exactly. I'm a huge, I really like Charlotte Flair's work.
Because I think when I look at someone like Jazz, I feel like you were the precursor, the forerunner for the the Bianca Belairs, who was the athlete that now transitions into being the wrestler and can pretty much do it all in there, or like we're seeing with Jade Cargill in AEW, who's someone with this fantastic physique, athletic background. It's the new generation of women, and it's the natural evolution of sports. So yeah, definitely, if we can see a woman's brand and see them showcased more, I think there is absolutely a market for that. It's just a matter of time before somebody capitalizes on it.
Especially since she's out there looking for a manager on AEW, and I was thinking to myself the other day too. I was like, Jazz would be perfect for this.
Hey, they know how to get in touch with me. I saw Tony Khan quite often in Impact.
Yeah, that's a money idea if there ever was one.
Yeah, what I mean, she's a badass. She's the queen of badasses.
Man,
why not?
I can help her become even more of a badass.
Yeah, well, there we have it. I mean, Tony Khan, if you're listening, and I know you are because you're a smart man and you listen to the two smartest men in podcasting.
I mean,
give this woman a shot.
Get Jazz on Dynamite. Let's go.
The only woman fit to manage Jade Cargill is Jazz.
Nice little play on words there too. Yeah.
Right now, I'm working with a company with SWE Fury TV. That's a company that's growing extremely fast here in the state of Texas. I mean, we're drawing over 1,000 people right now. We're actually having pay-per-views, and I'm actually the director of the women's division there. So I do all the booking of the women, and I agent their matches, and so I'm having a blast with that. I just got called. NWA reached out to me. They want me to come up there and agent, their women's division up there. So, opportunities are there, and it's just, I'm just so grateful and so happy right now, this time in my life. And these are opportunities coming that I never even dreamed of. So it's like finally a woman of color getting these opportunities. So here I am again, knocking those damn doors down. Open them up. Let me in.
And if I'm not mistaken, you're also the first inductee into the SWE Fury Hall of Fame.
Yes, I am.
Which, congratulations. Well deserved.
Thank you. Yes. Also, I'm waiting on this COVID to get better because I was a CAC, a recipient of 2020, but I never got a chance. Maybe it was 19. I think it was 19. I never got a chance to even to go and receive that. So hopefully 2021 will be the time for me to get out there and receive some more of my flowers.
Well, depending on how restrictions change and whatnot,
Yes.
I've actually made a point of it to be at the next Cauliflower Alley Club. So
Right.
it would be amazing to get to see that in person. So you get your Hall of Fame induction, which is long overdue. Speaking of Hall of Fame inductions and that kind of thing, you know, WWE has been inducting a lot of women in your generation into the Hall of Fame. Quite frankly, I think a lot of them that have gone in, you know, you should have got in before them based on your accomplishments and whatnot. But I kind of feel like, you know, WWE, they may have missed the boat with you a little bit, because I think you could have been a much bigger star there and marketed a lot better than they did. And it just, you know, makes me wonder, did you ever get a sense there was some friction there or something?
I just never really understood, you know. Again, here I am and was told that Trish and I had one of the hottest angles, you know, on Raw, you know, at the time. And, you know, I'm the champion. I was never put on a billboard. I never received a action figure. I never had a T-shirt. You know, they stuck me on a cigarette lighter, you know, but that was about it. So, yeah, I never understood why they didn't market me more than they did, because actually they really didn't at all.
No, it's sad to see. And yeah, I mean, you at least should have had an action figure there in the company for 4 years and, you know, nothing to show for it. Merchandise, that's money in your pocket too, because I mean, there's royalties on that. There's and being a top champion, being someone working a top program, bringing in the ratings, it doesn't make sense. And again, you know, I got to call a spade here. Do you feel that was maybe because, you know, women weren't being valued at that time? Do you feel maybe it's because you're a woman of color?
I don't know, because I don't know, because they had plenty of shit of Lita and Trish.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I say that because for the longest time, I couldn't understand why it took, you know, so long for there to be a black WWE champion. You know, now obviously, you know, The Rock got it, but, you know, that's years and years and years of, you know, a bunch of old white men, you know, getting the belt until Rock finally gets it. Kofi Kingston finally gets it a few years later. Now we have Bobby Lashley, but, you know, it should not have taken this long. I gotta wonder if maybe there was some issues like that going on, because it's just mind blowing to me that it took till this long that we finally get a black champion.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. You know, I don't like to, you know, throw the racism word out there, because I don't know if that was really it. But that's a question I'm still asking today. Why was I never received? You know, I never received anything, and why? Especially if I was one of the ones that helped fucking, you know, bring money to the company and was in the top angle with one of the top girls. So I don't know, man. It's just, it is what it is. And I got to the point now that I'm not even mad anymore. It's like life goes on, you know, it's all good.
And I just got to ask too. I mean, what was the deal in 2006 when I don't know if they formally brought you back, or was it maybe just a per appearance thing with the new ECW?
That was for the ECW deal. And I ran out there. They had Kelly in a damn 2-piece bikini, wanted me to run in and smash her, but get upset because I got a pop. I'm like, well, what you expect? I mean, it's ECW crowd, me doing a run in on Kelly in a fucking 2-piece. Yeah, they wanted me to smash her, but that's what I did in ECW, you know? So I don't know, man. They really didn't know what to do with me. They told me they couldn't come up with anything for me.
I mean,
that's what I was told.
I mean, it sounds like they don't know your brand, or they don't know your history, despite the fact that you worked for them. And you know, ECW, Kelly was having a hard time getting over to begin with. I don't even think it was an issue of you going out there and attacking her. I think anyone could have done that, and it would have got a pop. So, correct. You know, to me, I gotta wonder, maybe it was a setup. Maybe they just wanted you to do that just to, you know, have something over you, because, you know, we know the mind games that go on there.
Yeah, and again, I have no idea. But once they start telling me shit like that, I'm like, well, bro, I don't know what it's nothing else I can do.
And I remember reading too that your husband Rodney, I think that he was maybe getting a part of that deal too. He was going to be brought in as an agent or as a trainer, something along those lines.
Yeah, man, it's just you don't know what happened with them. But one thing you can never say never with them. Oh, that'll never happen. This will never happen, because you never know. I've seen people sue them and talk shit on them and do everything in a book and still get inducted into the Hall of Fame, get called back for a job, so
like Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Yes. So we'll see. Time will tell.
Yeah.
Oh. Now, when you went from ECW and then you went into WWE, did you notice a difference in the locker rooms? Was it the same kind of atmosphere? Was it a little different?
No, it wasn't the same. It never. ECW was just laid back. Everyone on the roster had an opportunity to work every show every night. So there was no competition. There was no egos. And everybody just want to work. Everybody want to wrestle. That's all we ever wanted to do is wrestle. And we had that opportunity in ECW. Now in WWE, oh Lord, yeah, you can do house shows Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but Monday for Raw, you never know who's gonna be on TV. So it's like you just never know. And the more you're sitting back, the more you start to feel like, hey, well, you start to get pissed a little bit. So that's where all the tension seems to flare up when you're not being utilized. Mm-hmm. That's what causes all the tension.
Now, when you were there, was it already in the era of there being writers and a lot of it being scripted? And so if you had to do a promo, they'd give you a paper and this is what you got to say word for word to make Vince happy? Is that? Okay. And what were your thoughts on that? I mean, obviously talking to you here, I see that, you got the gift of gab, but having to read a script.
Yeah, it was different. Because it's certain words, god dang, that they wanted to hear. And if you kept forgetting those words, you'd just be there, to 2 hours making sure you get it right. And Paul Lee was a little different. Paul Lee understood who your character was, and he'd give you like a gist of what he wanted you to say and how you wanted to say it. And long as you freaking, you include your animations and you change your demeanor and get the story over the way he wanted it portrayed, then it was all good. So it was just a little slight difference between ECW and WWE.
And now with you working behind the scenes in a lot of companies like SWE Fury, NWA, again, I don't know how they do business in terms of the scripting of the shows and whatnot and what they want for dialogue. But do you feel that there's a detriment to the talent to not let them have that free reign to go out there and put it in their own words?
Yeah, those that capable of doing that, but there's still some that's not. You have to at least give them an outline. That's what I like to do. Give them an outline of what I want them to talk about. And a lot of times that help. Again, we work on that at our school every night. We have promo classes included in our training just about every night. Mm-hmm. So it's just as important as learning how to body slam somebody.
Yep. No, absolutely. You got to be able to talk them people into the building and make them care.
That's it.
Now, one thing I wanted to ask you about, because I came across this story about one of your first nights in WWE where you got a bit of heat with Booker T over an entrance.
Yes.
So what was that all about?
I don't know. Just that's what the hell, my brain and my body, how they work together, and that's what happened. It was nothing I thought about for 2 hours and like, okay, what you going to do, Jazz? It wasn't like that. It's just shit. When that music hit again, I never even heard the music before. So for the first time, they hit that music and told me to go out through the curtain, and that's just how my body reacted to the music.
that was on your debut match.
Yes, that was Survivor Series. Yeah, and Booker T like, what the fuck? You stealing my shit?
Have you've since patched up things with Booker, I imagine?
Oh yeah. I cleared that shit up then and there. I made sure I would never, ever come out of Gorilla doing Booker T's deal.
Now, I was going through some of your old matches, and I came across one. I believe it was a Sunday Night Heat. It was you and Jacqueline, and you were being managed by Teddy Long at the time. Mm-hmm. Hell of a match.
Yes.
And that's somebody I felt like they should have put you together with more when you were in the WWE, because you two you guys made magic together. Like you had these two tough chicks just beating the hell out of each other, which was just unseen. Yeah.
We kind of pushed for us to tag a little bit, but that didn't go in. That didn't. No one even acknowledged that or put that over. So we just like, hey, it is what it is. So but yeah, Jack and I, we work really well together. You're right, good chemistry. Our timing was like just on point, and both pretty, very physical. So yeah, we had some good matches together, and unfortunately, a lot of it was on Heat. We had a couple of matches on Raw, but Heat was a little more. They always gave us more time on the Heat matches. Yeah, so I had great matches with Victoria too, man. Victoria and I could have been in a great program,
And I liked it too because Teddy Long, he cut a promo right before the match saying, "You're not going to see a women's match. You're going to see a wrestling match with 2 women in it." And he basically just painted a picture for the crowd of what they were going to get, and you guys just knocked it out of the park.
Yes. And, again, I was the only woman that Teddy Long has ever managed. So, that was another history-making moment for me, working with TL.
Yeah, I think Teddy is very, very underrated as good of a manager and a hype man.
He is. Teddy
Duggin' and Buggin' Enterprises.
Yeah.
Right.
I loved when he was managing Rodney Mack and
White Boy Challenge.
doing the White Boy Challenge. I enjoyed that. Him with Mark Henry. Even when they give him an odd pairing, when they gave him someone like Mark Jindrak, he managed to always be able to put that attention on them, no matter who it was. Teddy Long was outstanding as a manager and outstanding at everything he did in wrestling, from being a ref to being a general manager. Just one of the best, and you work with him still in SWE Fury.
SWE Fury, he's the general manager there, and I mean we talk more now than we did when we worked together in WWE. So I love him.
Yeah. So I actually have a fan question here. So obviously we talked about you going to AEW, so that answered his question. But was there any aspirations on if you wanted to ever be a booker or a producer in the past when you first got into the business, or?
No, I thought I was going to wrestle up until now. I thought I would have a job with WWE until I was ready to say it's enough. I felt I was capable. I was robbed from that, but again, it's all good. But yeah, I think that I probably, if I was with WWE over all these years, I probably would have retired 5 years ago. And then tried to pursue the behind the scenes, aspect of the business. But, timing is everything, right?
Yeah.
Well, I believe a few of the women that you have trained have gone on to AEW now, so
yes,
you're crushing in the training department.
Yes. God is good, man. Our school is picking up, doing really well, and this is what I want to do from here on out. Just continue to better the business and pass on the knowledge.
So how'd you come about the name, the Dog Pound Dojo? Because that's a cool name too.
Yeah, my husband grew up on a pit bull farm. He grew up around over 100 pit bulls in his yard. So that was a dog pound. And he's a dog from the top of his head to the bottom of his feet. He's a dog. There's nothing fake about that gimmick whatsoever. And so that's kind of just been our deal, because before we went to ECW, we worked together. I was his manager / valet, and he was Red Dog, and we used to go out there and shit, tear the house down.
I remember actually he was Red Dog for maybe like a week or two on WWE TV. He was paired up with John Cena.
Yeah,
and I always wonder if and then I think they replaced him with Bull Buchanan. But I always wonder if that pairing with him and Cena, which he gave credibility to John Cena being there with him, and that was when Cena, that wasn't like Cena like now with the colorful shirts and everything. That was when he started doing his rap gimmick there.
Yeah, that was
coming out with the chain.
John Cena.
Yeah. And which I'm a very big fan. I've gone on record. Love that John Cena. Big fan of him. But it was unfortunate that they took him away from John Cena, because I felt like that was such a good pairing, and it could have catapulted him further up the card had they kept that together.
No, absolutely.
Yes, I agree. Again, I don't know even what happened with Rodney. I mean, he's another killer, like a real fucking ass kicker. But I don't know if they really like realism or they like that fake shit that really people can't really gravitate to and really believe it. I don't know, but
and he is one of the
killers.
And he is one of the champions also in SWE Fury right
now. He's
a
TV champion right now. Yes, he is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've had a lot.
Moss is the heavyweight champion.
No, I've had a lot of great exposure to SWE Fury with Hannibal, Devin Nicholson. You know, he's from our neck of the woods, and you know, he was doing a lot of business down there, and you know, it got our attention on the company that we would have otherwise not heard of. So you know, thanks to his channel, you know, we got introduced to SWE, got to see that, you know, your husband was still doing well there, Charlie Haas, the Teddy Long, you know, all the great female talents, Christy Janes, and the many other ones there. I know you guys had, I think Eva Lise came in for the last event too.
Yeah, she was there for the last event. She will be there on May the 22nd as well.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, because you had worked with Eva Lise a while back. She's, you know, came into some controversy there with AEW, some friction with Thunder Rosa possibly.
Yeah.
Is that some kind of just a misunderstanding, or you know, what do you got?
You know what? I used to really, you know, love Eva Lise, but you know, what I've seen and what I've been told is, you know, it's sometimes there's just an attitude and with working with some of the girls. And you know, it's like you hear it one time, you go, you know, you hear it twice, you go, well, damn, well, maybe. And you hear the third time, you go, now, hold on now. Could everybody be lying? But, you know, I wish everyone well. You know what I mean? I want every woman to be successful in this business. Eva Lise has too much talent to be, you know, putting herself in situations that she pretty much, you know, as we used to say, writing a check that the ass can't cash. You know, you got to also understand when you're in this industry and you're trying to work with a top company, sometimes you have to be quiet and just let shit just settle on its own. But when you get on social media and start burning people and burning bridges, that's a big no-no. You never burn a bridge. But, you know, we'll see what happens.
No, I felt that you'd be a good voice of reason in that whole thing. That's kind of, you know, a lot of times people read things online. They don't know the truth. They jump to certain conclusions. But I think that was very, very insightful and eloquent the way you put that.
Yes, thank you.
So I got to ask, since now that you're retired, was there anybody that you wanted to wrestle that you never got the chance to?
It's almost like every podcast I do, I get asked this question. And I always say the same thing. If there's anyone that could get me out of retirement to actually make me get in wrestling shape again, would be Charlotte Flair.
I could see that.
Well, yeah, that'd be a money match.
That gotta happen soon. Now, check this out. I'm 48 years old. So, you know, if this ever gonna happen, it's gotta happen like the clock is ticking, man. The clock is ticking.
Yep.
Well, if the Queen's watching, and I'm sure she does, let's go.
Yeah.
You got her right here. You want to be legitimate? You need this one. You need this woman right here to legitimize you.
I think we get it trending. We get people to start trending. You know, hashtag Jazz versus Charlotte.
Hey, I'll jump on that.
You know, she goes on Monday nights and talks about how nobody wants to fight her. She's the opportunity. She's all these things. Here's a woman that could fight her, drag her through the mud, beat her ass any day of the week.
Turn that blonde hair red. You can just see it now, you know.
I feel her and I could really have great chemistry. You know, I love her pace. I love her shit. I just love everything about her. Her work, you know, her work ethic, you know, her persona, you know. I'm a huge fan.
Yeah. And she's the one that retired Trish, your rival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The story is right there.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Have her talk some shit on Monday Night Raw. That saxophone hits.
and Charlotte probably goes running for her life.
That exactly.
Great writing, guys.
I'm pretty sure they steal from us anyway. So
yeah, great shit.
Yeah, his nickname is actually the Spoiler.
Original again, but just because the WWE is it's too easy to predict.
Yeah. You can call it, right?
Yeah, it's a pop-up book at this point.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
And so I gotta ask, it's kind of an elephant in the room, but your new hairstyle.
Yes.
Yes. When did you decide to just full on just go bald?
Well, I always strive to be different, right? I try not to copy anyone. I felt like I've been copied. I've been kind of attempted to be duplicated, but me, far as me trying to be like anyone else, never ever. Again, I had some health issues and had some damage to the hair, and my husband said, "Baby, why don't you just shave it off?" And I was like, "Oh my God." I've worn weave for over 23 years.
Wow.
So, yeah. In fact, my husband has never seen me without extensions, ever. From the moment he met me, I've had extensions. So once I shaved it, oh my God, it took me so long to get used to it. But everyone else loved it. And it was like, oh my God, you look like a badass.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, well, if the people are liking it, I guess I can get used to it. So that's who I am now.
And I think it looks great. I definitely think you wear it way better than this guy does. and I don't think any other woman in professional wrestling could pull it off.
Yeah, that's what everybody tells me. Like, you got the perfect head for that. I guess that's a compliment. Fuck, I don't know.
and it just adds to the aura too, because if you wrestle a match and they go to pull your hair, what are they grabbing? They're sliding. Yeah. Nice try,
I didn't say if I ever get into a fight. If I ever had to fight someone, they can't pull my hair. So that would probably mess them up. Girls love to pull hair.
Yeah, that's true.
I know some guys too.
Yeah, yeah. Hey,
I'm not a fan of hair. I'm not a fan of hair pulling.
It is what it is.
But, speaking of fighting, I always like to ask this when we get guests on. Are you a fan of combat sports, whether it be like old school boxing or UFC, mixed martial arts?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I love this physicality, because that's just who we are. My husband, he's done a couple of shoot fights. Now, I didn't enjoy that. But yes, it's just we've actually trained a little bit in that, just when we was in WWE, just for conditioning. So yeah, I know how stand there hitting a heavy bag for 20-30 minutes. Oh my God, that's brutal. But I see why all their shoulders are just ripped and shredded.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you need those shoulders. I mean, I've done some boxing training myself, and the first thing I was taught was, you don't want your arms to blow up, because that's your defense.
Yes. It takes a lot out of you, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the combative sports. Love it.
And so now, are you based out of Texas at this time?
Yes.
Okay. Because I know that Oh, nice, San Antonio. Very nice. Yeah. So, I mean, what's it like down there? I hear you guys are doing better than pretty much anywhere in America right now. Life is almost back to normal. No masks, none of that. People are getting vaccinated.
Yeah, people are getting vaccinated. You still have to wear your mask in the stores or restaurants. Once you get in a restaurant and sit down, you take it off. Mm-hmm. The towns that we've been running these wrestling shows, like the whole entire town, they haven't been wearing a mask. I don't know, but that was a little weird. But yeah, I mean, thank God we're getting back to normal, and life continuing, and and wrestling is really booming, and we're happy.
So you got the training schools open again. You're accepting students.
Yes, we never stopped.
You never? Oh wow, okay.
We never stopped.
All right, great.
Yeah, we was running. SWE was running throughout the whole pandemic, and Mission Pro. So Thunder Rosa, her company was continuing running shows. SWE was running shows. So hell, our school, we didn't stop. We kept pushing. We kept going. Yes, we're trying to produce talent, man. That's what it's all about.
So for the Dog Pound Dojo, for those following at home, where can we find it? Can we find you on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook?
All of that, but you can also just go to the website. It's dogpounddojo.com, and it's dog with 2 G's, DOGGPONDDOJO. Dogpounddojo.com. Yes, it's on Twitter as that Dog Pound Dojo. You can email me at book.phenomjazz@gmail.com. You can hit me up on Twitter at Phenom_jazz. So there's ways of getting in touch with me. And if you're interested in joining the Dog Pound Dojo, same way.
So you hear that, everybody. So if you want to be trained by the woman who made Trish Stratus legitimate, and you want that, that's where you need to go.
Yes, come on, women. Don't be afraid.
Definitely, if I'm ever down in Texas, if I'm ever there for a book-in, if we can, figure out this whole COVID mess and whatnot, I'll be happy to stop by and train alongside yourself and your husband, because I think y'all are fantastic.
Please do. We would love to have you. Thank you so much.
Jazz, I want to thank you again for doing the show with us. It's a hell of an honor, and I feel like I learned a lot.
Oh, it was great. She pulled no punches, and I think gave the people what they want to hear. So I think the only other thing we have to do is we got to make that match with Charlotte Flair happen.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think that
give me a damn action figure.
Yeah. How do you not give the champion, like the women's champion, an action figure? That makes no sense to me.
Not whatsoever.
No. So we got a lot to check off this episode. We got to get her that match against Charlotte, and then head over to AEW, manage Jade Cargill.
Manage Jade Cargill.
Maybe your pal Thunder Rosa can work her a little magic for you and make that happen. I want to thank you again.
And tell them I'm trying. I need dates for July and August and September for those who want to see me on my tour.
And that's the Jazz Retirement Tour, ladies and gentlemen. So you want to see this, otherwise you're never going to see it again.
That's right.
Yeah. Yep. And so I do hope that in the future, you're still involved in the wrestling business. Our paths can cross. I've been wrestling for 15 years myself here in Canada. It's always tricky for us here in Canada because of border issues and work visas and a lot of politics like that.
Who I want to get over here in SWE?
Who?
LaFisto.
She's from right here in Montreal.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the restrictions to lift, man. I'm pushing for her to come over here in SWE and get her shine on.
I mean, she's a great talent. She's from right here, and I think anywhere she goes, she could definitely catch people's attention. And have you wrestled with her? Have you ever done a match?
Oh yes. I love her, man.
She's pretty hardcore herself. Yeah,
she is. She don't play. She doesn't play. You got to be ready to bring it when you step in the ring with her.
Yeah. I did a tag match, 4 teams. I was in it with her, but she brings it. Yeah,
she brings it.
Hit me with a very hard forearm. I still remember it. In a good way.
And that's what I tell my girls, my students. It's like, man, these girls are hitting hard out there. This shit is real.
Yeah. Well, it ain't ballet. That's the name of the game. I mean, we gotta give the people violence. We gotta.
That's what sells.
You gotta feed the beast.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like I said, I do hope our paths can cross at some point in wrestling. I've enjoyed hearing everything you have to say. Lifelong fan, and even if you have wrestled your last match, I think it's been a fantastic career from start to finish. But I still think you have a lot to offer this business, at least from a mental point of view. So I think any woman that gets the chance to work with you or under you are definitely going to benefit from that.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
And also, thank you for everything you did for women's wrestling too.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
All right. Likewise.
All righty. Well, that's it. Thanks again for doing it. We really appreciate it. It's such a huge honor to have you here.
Thank you.
And if ever you want to come back on, if you got anything you want to plug, we're friends for life here. So
all right,
just let us know.
Could be anything. Could be you're having a yard sale. Send it to us. We'll fucking get it out there for you.
I'm having one this Saturday. Yes, that's what I'm doing this Saturday. I'm doing a yard sale. Just to get rid of some shit.
You hear that? All our fans in Texas, head over to Jazz's house. Get yourself some cool shit.
Yeah. San Antonio, please come by. Yes.
I'm sure our ECW Mark is going to want some shit, so he's going to book his plane soon.
Yes. All right, guys. Let me get ready, son. Get ready. Go get me some water and get ready for my next one. My next go around here. I appreciate it.
All righty.
Take care. Stay safe.
Take care. All right. You too.
Hell of an episode. That woman terrifies me. just like I was 13 again. It's crazy.
I think she'd terrify you right now if she was here. Half the time I feel I terrify you, even though, I'm a nice, easygoing guy. Aren't I?
No, not at all. Not at all. But you know what does terrify me? The fact that I haven't been to 102 Saint Jean Baptiste Local 52 in a long time. So, Big Joe, I'm coming for you. And so is the rest of the Jofo Mafia, because, guys, you need to get out there. Because that guy is a fucking cupcake wizard. He's a bakery, I don't know. I can't think of anything because I'm just so distraught that I haven't been there in a while.
Well, I'll tell you what. Next time you go, you tell Big Joe, I'm still waiting on those donuts. And you know what? I'm getting hungry. I'm getting a lot hungrier. So I might head down there, maybe get some cannolis. Maybe have some pizza. Maybe have some of those things I tell people like yourself on a weekly basis not to have because, let's face it, sometimes in life, we got to give in to temptation.
And where better a place to do that than at Balboa Bakery? I want to thank Jazz for being here again, for taking the time out of her very busy schedule. As you heard, I can't imagine that she is that busy still. It's insane.
I mean, she's a living legend. Legends never die. And they got to work that full-time schedule, which means morning to night and everything in between. Something you'd know nothing about. You have no work ethic whatsoever. I carry you here on a weekly basis. Sometimes you carry me, but I don't let it show.
You got the arms better to carry me anyway. So, and with that, ladies and gentlemen, wrestling is life.